Good morning.
Morning.
We're back. We're sorry about those complications.
You know what I can't get enough of?
That opening.
That opening!
Yeah, that's brand new to us. That's the second time now that we're seeing it.
We still haven't heard the music because we can't hear that here in the studio.
Right.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so if you are here with us, please tell us. Tell us that you're here. Let us know where you're watching from.
That you can hear us okay.
Are we live? Can
we
you
don't
see
even
us?
know.
We talked about April Fool's being next week, but this week seems to be the joke. Hooray, yes.
There we are.
Mississippi, we got you. Thank
All
you.
right,
Take
see you
two.
guys.
I appreciate that, Brian.
Awesome.
This is take two. Hopefully it's better than take one.
Hopefully.
While we went off the air, we went ahead and re-rehearsed everything. So this should be awesome, or we're going to be really sick of the content.
So what is our content?
We didn't really do that. So our content today is all about on-site event printing, otherwise known as, or you know how sometimes people come up with a cool name to market something that has existed forever? Experiential retail.
I love it. I love that it's called that.
Yeah.
It's new and it's exciting and it gets people excited.
I'm actually happy that everybody stuck around saying, we can hear you this time. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
I didn't know you guys cared so much. We appreciate it. So yeah, we're all about on-site printing. Couple announcements before we get into our content, which I think is going to be very helpful for anybody who is considering doing on-site printing, or maybe you already do it. You can give us some feedback as well. You'll pick up a few tips from some of our other customers who specialize in on-site printing. So what are our announcements?
Our announcements are upcoming trade shows and events happening with Stahls. So we're going to be at MBM Irving this week from Thursday to Saturday, right? So the 28th through the 30th. And then after the Irving show, we're actually going to be hosting an event at our Irving location. So we have a showroom and a warehouse there. And we're inviting attendees at the show to join us after the show at our location for a great big announcement for an exciting new product we're going to be coming out with.
Hey, if you came to visit us at the ISS Atlantic City show, you may have already gotten the announcement. So sorry, Texas, you're going to be a week behind, but you're still ahead of California. Okay, so we made an on-site announcement in Atlantic City. It's an exciting new product that's coming up that we think is going to actually help you revolutionize your business. And
absolutely.
Online based, you'll see. Can't give too much away, but
yeah,
come
you got to
see
join us. Yeah, absolutely. Other than that, we are also having our first Saturday workshop, which is a big deal because typically we're not open on Saturdays, well, as far as the office goes.
Customers are.
So we are going to be hosting a workshop, which is typically held on Wednesdays, but this in April, it'll be on Saturday at all of our showroom locations. So you can see them listed there on the bottom left-hand side, from California all the way over to Pennsylvania.
And what time is this on Saturday? I'm sorry if you already said it.
It's starting at 10 a.m., depending on where you're located, obviously. So
10 a.m. local time.
10 a.m. local time, yep.
To wherever you are.
Yeah, so this is going to be heat printing 101 and 201. There's a morning and afternoon class, but I think you get the most out of it if you're attending both of those classes.
Okay.
You also get lunch and everything as well.
Okay, cool. That is awesome. So workshop Wednesday, first it bled into Thursdays, now it's on Saturdays.
Yeah, so what we're getting is feedback from customers when they would best be able to attend.
Right.
So some were able to do Thursdays. More people are able to do Saturday, so we're hoping to be able to fill all of those seats. So I'm expecting that to happen, so be sure to sign up as quickly as you can. It's going to be on the Stahls Events page on our website. So you just scroll to the Stahls Events link down at the bottom of our website and sign up there.
And I noticed Mike made a comment here, it would be great if a workshop Wednesday could be streamed at some point. Do you think that's in the plan somewhere along the
I think that would be ideal. I think a lot of people would love to see it live from where they're located. So it's something that we've discussed and we're hoping to put into the works.
Okay, great. On-site printing.
So what did you do this weekend?
Dang it. What did I do this weekend?
You went to a basketball event.
I did. I went to a basketball event. This one happened to be in Indianapolis. Went to the Pacers Athletic Center and the Finch Creek Fieldhouse, which are about 20 minutes apart, and saw hundreds of grade school, middle school, and high school kids playing basketball. Big event.
And were they printing on site there?
So there was a little bit of printing on site at this particular event, and I actually 2 weekends ago ran into a Stahls customer at another basketball event in the Pittsburgh area where they were printing on site. Yeah.
All right, so we've learned from some of our customers that we've talked to at different trade shows that they are actually taking their equipment on site so that not only are they able to get more opportunity that way, but it also opens them up to a wider range of customers because people are coming from all over, and it expands the word of mouth type of marketing.
Yeah, for sure. This, just to give you an idea of as far as people will travel to go to one of these events for their kids, me being one of them. Anyway, so we were in Indianapolis. We're obviously here in southwestern Pennsylvania in the Pittsburgh area, so that's about a 6-hour drive from us. There were teams from Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, pretty much all over the Midwest they had teams come in for. So 6-hour drive was pretty much the max. Actually, I take that back. There was one team that came from Toronto that chartered a bus and came in as well.
All right, so anywhere from tournaments to international or national competitions. I know cheerleading and dancing is a huge one where they're doing a lot of on-site printing where they're just printing something or pre-printing it and taking it and then increasing a price if they want to add personalization or if they want a specific item with their name put on it or a number. So a lot of those items that are increasing profitability are more on the lower end and then being able to increase by adding the personalization to it. So whenever you're trying to source your blanks, it's important to think about the cost of those blanks. So actually, one that we're going to be demoing is like $1.98, and then they're increasing the profitability by adding the transfer and then the personalization on top of that.
Well, so plus when you're at that event and your child or whoever you're there with is there, they want to commemorate being there by purchasing something that they can take home and say, hey, I was at this particular event, and that allows you to upcharge. I mean, most of you who have gone to a sporting event or a concert event or any event know how expensive drinks, food, just anything is, because it's there on site, it's convenient. Where else are you going to go to get it?
Right, demand.
Right, right.
All right, so some of those other ones we didn't mention bags, but some other items are hard goods such as water bottles or tumblers. We're seeing adding personalization to hats and other unique accessories where if somebody else is also set up there, you know they're not offering it too. So it's good to be unique in what you're offering so that they have to come to you to get it. You had mentioned that there were, it was a volleyball competition or a tournament or whatever, and they were doing printing on headbands.
Yeah.
Which is a really unique opportunity, but very popular. People were buying them up like crazy, just adding their number or name to it.
They were adding a name to it. So it was a personalized headband. It was actually an Under Armour headband. I think they bought them from Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that. Stocked them up with the Under Armour logo on it. And then they just added the players' names on site, sold them for like $20 or $25 a piece. I think the blank cost, well, I guess it wouldn't be blank because it had the logo on it, but I think it was like $8 or $12. Added a name to it and doubled what they were selling for.
All right, so that also goes for a lot of cheerleading competitions. So headbands are really popular for certain competitions, but also just getting bows that are already created. So the blank is it's like retail ready. And then just adding personalization to the tail of the bow is another popular one I've seen. And then track competitions or soccer tournaments, they're doing numbering on cleats, which is over there on your side. But they're just taking a vinyl cutter that's a desktop. So we have a silhouette here. This is commonly used based off of what our customers are talking about, what they're taking with them that's easy to move. But if they're looking for something that's going to be a lot faster, if they're planning to be doing a lot of personalization, they'll upgrade to the roll-in, which is what we recommend.
Yeah, for sure. And it's all based on when you are organizing these events, it's important to either talk to the event organizer or come up with the idea yourself if you've attended the event before. Total attendance is a big deal, and knowing what you're able to handle, because you want to maximize your opportunity while you're there. You're going to see all of these people, and you want to make sure you have enough equipment to handle the demand. You want to make sure you have enough people to handle the demand.
Right.
And then if you truly don't think you're going to be able to handle the demand, you need to have a way to follow up. So take an order that can be shipped out if you can't produce everything on demand, on site at that time. Because we have had customers go on site and just get completely inundated with a line that's just longer than they really ever expected it to be.
Right.
So awesome opportunity, but you're going to disappoint a lot of people in the back of the line if you don't have something in place to where they can still get something personalized and maybe have it shipped to them post-event.
Right. And earlier we mentioned that there are 2 companies that we've noticed doing this really well. And the first one we want to show you is Live Danger. So we'll go ahead and play that video now.
Everybody, this is a line for t-shirts only. You walk right in.
Live Danger is where we come and set up our mobile print shop anywhere you want to sell or promote your brand. This gives your fans the opportunity to interact with your brand in a unique, personal, and meaningful way because they're actually taking part in the production process. They get to decide what shirt color, what size of shirt, what design from a menu of designs we offer that day, as well as where on the shirt they want that print to be. Front, back, upside down. So they walk away with a shirt they've actually designed themselves. This becomes a conversation piece. It makes them more apt to want to wear it. At promotional events where we're giving away shirts, hundreds of people line up every single time. We can output probably 200, maybe 250 per hour. While for sale events run a little bit slower because people want to decide exactly which design, which shirt, how the shirt fits. So that definitely slows the pace down a bit. Cost is contingent on a few factors. One, there's a setup fee for us to come and set up the gear at your event. 2, what are we going to be printing on? Bandanas are cheaper than tote bags, which are cheaper than t-shirts, which are cheaper than sweatshirts. The next will be the design menu for the event. Whether we do 1 design, 2 designs, 10 designs, 1 color print work, 2 color print work, all these things factor into the bottom line. Because there's so many variables to cost, we'll work with you to develop a quote based on exactly what your needs are. Every time we've set this up, people love the opportunity to create their own one-of-a-kind t-shirt, almost as much as we love giving them the chance to do it.
So the thing that's most impressive to me about that was at the very beginning of the video where they're like, this is the line for t-shirts, this is the line to get in the
concert.
event.
Yeah.
And there was nobody in that line. It's absolutely crazy. I think they did a great job choosing footage and editing that video. So we noticed a couple things, I think, in that video that I want to talk about after we show you another video of somebody else who was doing the same thing. Because take note on that particular video with that particular company, there was a lot of paper, there was long lines, and they were pulling transfers out of a drawer. So I want to show you another video of a company much like the one that we just saw. This one's called YR Store, and this is an activation that they did in the Stahls booth at the SGIA show.
We're here in Las Vegas at SGIA for the world's largest print expo. We're here collaborating with Stahls, iconic name in the history of garment decoration. It's an amazing collaboration between obviously a brand I think has been around since 1932. Obviously leaders in our world, so it's kind of a nice fusion partnership. And what we're here to showcase the Stahls graphics selection by bringing that to life through our customization software. So what we have is the menu of different options reflecting the different styles of products that the Stahls product range can be used on. That's going through workwear, corporate, fashion and athletic. And I'll show you an example. So you're clicking through the menu system, which shows you the 3D model. You then have the choice of the different decals that you'll see automatically populate. And then what we're doing here, we have the custom hashtag that you can in real time see populate on the screen, and we will live cut that here using the latest technology and of course the finest heat press materials. So we're going to go Vegas baby, and you'll see that populate in real time. You then have the choice to flick between different colored foils. In this instance, we're going to go for the gold. Then your background, and once you've finished, you enter your details, which will allow you to generate a ticket. And once that item's printed, you'll receive a text message.
So that both companies are doing some really cool things
Absolutely.
with on-site printing, and we showed most of the stuff being heat printed with Stahls materials, but on-site printing also goes into other heat print technologies. These folks are using sublimation. Some who are doing very large events and charge a lot of money will take a direct-to-garment printer on site, but that's
Right.
actually we're seeing that become less and less because of the expense that's involved in that. So heat printing is a really, really nice fit for on-site printing. So I want to talk about the differences between the companies and some of the stuff that they were doing the same. So we noticed that Live Danger was using paper. They were circling their order, they were choosing the t-shirt, personalized experience, you're choosing what shirt, what transfer, so on and so forth.
And they did one key thing there. They did limit how many options they had to choose from. And it was all based off of how much the blank cost as well, depending on what event they were going to offer what. But based off of what you had on your order form, you were only able to choose from 2 or 3 different blanks, and then you got to choose your transfer and where you wanted it. I think that's important because if you limit your customer, or if you give them too many options, they're less likely to make a decision there and actually order it. They'll be like, oh, I'll just come back after I have time to think about it, and then they end up not even returning.
Right.
So you definitely want to limit how many options you give them, but being able to make it a personable experience by letting them choose where the transfer goes on the shirt or whatever accessory you're offering, I think goes a long way as well.
Yeah, it does. And YR does a similar thing, but they moved to the digital approach where they have the touch screen. So they have developed that software that they're putting in front of people, and it's effectively the exact same process, except touching a screen instead of circling on a piece of paper. It looked like they had a lot of options in there. However, when we did that activation, I think we did 3 pre-printed options. There was a flex style transfer, which added some dimension. It was a little bit more expensive, but very popular. So we did a flex style transfer. I think we did a screen print transfer, and then we did allow folks to take the screen print transfer and add a vinyl personalization somewhere else on the garment.
Yeah, so that was actually where the hashtag portion was down the sleeve, where we were actually vinyl cutting. People were entering exactly what they wanted in there. As soon as that order came through the system, we were sending them directly to the vinyl cutter to cut.
Yeah, and one thing that I know that YR always considers when they're doing personalized items, specifically with vinyl, they only allow you to choose, even like the customer who is asking you to come print on site, they're only going to allow you to offer 1 or 2 different fonts that are very easy to weed, because you don't want to get tied up in a bunch of extra work that's not putting transfers on garments.
Right, and we do see some questions commenting in. I'm going to scroll back up to Michael Scott's question so that we can touch on that regarding the mixed media.
Okay. So question says, we just got asked to do an on-site 3-day event at a hospital for National Nurses Week. Congratulations. Sounds like a good event. Hospital is giving coupons for all the nurse staff for a free sweatshirt. And we can come back and kind of talk about revenue models as well, because that's an important one. Sometimes the customer's buying, sometimes the customer's the person giving the event. They want us on site to do personalization. What's your thought on mixing media, as the main design will be transfer, but personalization will be vinyl?
Yeah, so we always recommend actually doing exactly that, is mixing the media. Getting the transfer pre-printed and then doing the personalization with heat transfer vinyl on site so that you can Obviously, make it memorable for the nurses that are going to be there so that they get to choose what personalization they wanted added. But that's how we've always recommended doing it, getting the transfers in bulk and just keeping them there on site, or even pre-printing the transfer and taking that as many as you know are going to be there attendee-wise, and then adding the personalization there.
Yeah, and that even goes beyond, so what some folks will do, which isn't necessarily a bad idea, it's just different, they'll pre-screen print the items and then add personalization on site. The only drawback to that screen printing is you're also, you're committing your sizes, your inventory there. So if you have a bunch of people come and order smalls, and you have the same amount of smalls as you do larges, and you're stuck with the larges at the end of the event. So screen print transfer is a really smart option for this on-site event printing, to where you're not overcommitting inventory. And if you have stuff left over at the end, you can discount as the event gets closer to the end to get rid of your transfers. But if you're throwing it away at the end, you're not throwing away a t-shirt, you're just throwing away a transfer.
Right. And then another best practice that we recommend for people who are doing this on-site event printing is the type of equipment that you are taking. So obviously we talked about a heat press being very lucrative. Definitely want to take into consideration what type of heat press it is. A lot of people are using clams just because they're easy to move around. They're a lot more lighter weight than any of your draw or swing presses. So we have customers that are using our Hotronix Auto Clam, a 16 by 20. Some even go as small as our 15 by 15 to make it even more condensed whenever they're traveling with all the equipment. So it just depends on what size t-shirts, I think, at that point that you're planning on printing, whether you get a 16 by 20 or 15 by 15. But we always recommend the clam.
Even moving beyond portability, you can lock the auto clam down, turn around, face your customers, take the next order while something is being printed, depending on your application times, but it's easier to walk away from that as well. So you don't have to have a 100% committed staff to the press. You can turn around and speak with customers and engage while the machine is down.
Right, and then vinyl cutters. So if you are going to be doing heat transfer vinyl and personalization on site, then looking at a 12-inch cutter such as the Silhouette Cameo. If you need something that's faster, and you can get up to like 30 centimeters per square. What am I saying here?
I don't know what you're saying.
35
I got
centimeters. But anyway, the roll
It cuts real fast. Right?
I can't stand him sometimes. It's okay. The roll-in GS24 is something that we really recommend because it is so user-friendly, and it does have that fast speed so that you're able to output a lot faster.
And we've said it, I think, 2 or 3 different ways, but simplicity is key. Like white material. Don't offer 7 different colors, because all you're going to end up doing is changing your machine out a ton of times. When people are on site, show them a white, a black, maybe a special effect finish depending on the event. The SGIA event that we did, we offered the new silver and gold CAD cut metallic there in addition to white and black, but it keeps it easy.
Agreed.
I made you mad, didn't I?
No, I'm reading questions.
Oh, okay. Good.
All right, so there was another question talking about being able to do what people in the malls are doing with their kiosks. This always reminds me of the shops at the beach. They put the transfers that they offer up on display so that you have something to choose from, and then they're just keeping inventory of garments and transfers there so that they can press them on site, and then obviously adding personalization as well.
It's
pretty basic. That's really all it is.
It is pretty basic. So they're stocking their designs. Every once in a while, you will run into a shop that has a vinyl cutter in the back that's cutting a number of different colors of vinyl. This is my speculation, but it's pretty well informed speculation, if that makes sense. Where the people at the mall make their money is still on group orders. It's not on one-off personalization. Do they offer personalization? Yes. Do people love it? Yes. But the money is actually being made on the group orders after the fact. So that mall visibility is just helping them gain larger orders that they may or not print on site. They may actually contract some of that decorating out.
Right. And a lot of people who are doing on-site, we mentioned earlier, word of mouth is a huge opportunity for going to events and doing that. But they're also putting their business information, whether it's their logo or a phone number or email, and either putting it on the sleeve or the yoke of the back or somewhere where that is visible, so they know that they got that from you and they can come back for a repeat order.
Yeah. So selling an on-site event, and this is where you're going to have to figure out really what's best for your business, because folks like Live Danger and YR are doing it a number of different ways. So there's 2 or 3 different revenue models, and you have to figure out who your customer is, because some of the time you're going to be hired by a larger company or a large brand, or like the question that we had, this hospital is doing something for the Nurses Association. So the sale there is actually to the larger organization, and they're just giving everything away for free. So they're coming to you and saying, hey, we want to buy 1,000 shirts and we just want you to decorate them on site. So that's one setup where you're selling your on-site services to one person, and you're showing up and you're basically giving away the stuff for free, even though it's not to them.
Right.
The other flip side of that, which is the way that it worked at the Pittsburgh tournament that I went to, it was actually a Stahls customer who was set up, and they pitched the organization on, hey, can we come on site, offer this experience to the folks showing up at your tournament, and we'll give you a percentage of whatever it is that we make. So they were making the sale direct to the customer or to the person who is walking in at the event. So they had to think payment processing. How do we accept payment? Do we have a Square on site? Is there good Wi-Fi in there? Like all of this additional considerations that if you're giving the stuff away or it's prepaid, you don't have to worry about. So 2 ways to consider that. And then we have folks who kind of meld those models as well. And depending on the client, makes a recommendation on what they think is best.
I would say, too, another model is choosing an event that you want to go to. Maybe it's a county fair, and you can just pay a fee to set up there so that you're just getting business and you're offering any item that you want to sell or personalize there on site. So you can, let's go through those again. So you can pay to the person hosting the event, that they'll pay you, and then you'll give away them free to who's attending.
Right.
You'll talk to the event coordinator about coming there and them getting a percentage of what you sell, or just going to an event, paying a one fee to be able to set up and sell what you have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Right, so those are all really good options for on-site event printing. So we talked about the equipment that you need and the type of transfers. So if you aren't screen printing in-house or pre-printing with screen printing, you're able to order screen print transfers through Transfer Express. And what's nice about this is you get the option to either upload your own artwork or choose from a number of clip art and templates that they have, where you can just create anything for that event as far as design goes. But you're able to gang sheet on 11 1/4 by 14 sheet so that you can fit multiple things on one sheet. And I'm actually going to show you how that works now. Right, so Transfer Express has something called Easy View Designer, and they allow you to upload your own artwork or choose from a number of their own stuff. And you get an 11 1/4 by 14 sheet. But you get to put as much of that onto that sheet because you're only paying for that sheet price. You're not paying for as many designs go on that sheet. So a lot of people will utilize this so that they can take these. They have a good shelf life. They come in a box and packaging so that you're able to store this and keep it there so that you're not pre-printing before you go, but printing on site at the event so that you're not risking losing inventory or anything like that. So these work very simply, and I'm going to demo this on a 100% cotton cinch pack here. And this is going to be focused on your basketball type of tournament. So, of course, we're going to preheat. All right, so that's going to just release moisture and wrinkles. You only have to hold that down for about 2 to 3 seconds. And they offer a transfer that is very quick to use. So all I have to do at this point is just place everything down where I need it. And I could just pre-print this. So the idea here would be to find out in advance, if you're going to a basketball tournament, what teams are going to be there, so you know exactly who you need to have a transfer for. So if I wanted to just personalize a bunch of bags with a bunch of different team names, got to decrease my pressure here a little bit. All right, so goof-proof applies at 365 degrees for 4 seconds. So as soon as that 4 seconds is up, I can just peel this back, and it's a very quick application. At that point, you find out a little later, once the tournament's over, who won. So say this is a state champ. I have state champ text here, where I'm just going to drop this down, and I now have the Bulldogs as the state champs. Then I can increase an additional cost for adding their logo or anything like that. So they could have already purchased this cinch bag prior to you doing this, but they can bring it back and get those additional prints for doing that. All right, so I'm going to grab my cover sheet just because we have ink exposed now. We don't want that to get to the top of the press, but being able to just keep this stuff on hand will help to increase profitability while you're there.
So one of the biggest challenges, at least in my opinion, if you're looking at the teams or if you're looking at an event that you're attempting to sell to and you want to convince them that it's a good idea and you don't have their artwork, if you go to their website and you screenshot the logo, send that into Transfer Express for an order, and guess what? Your artwork's free.
Right.
Yeah, Transfer Express will redraw that. So all you have to do is do a quick Google image search, screenshot the image, send it into Transfer Express, and they will vectorize all of the logos for any of the teams or the events that you want to go to. That's a really, I don't know if everybody realizes that artwork with Transfer Express is free.
Yeah, they
and
just
it's
changed
a
that
huge
last
selling
year.
point.
Yeah. So artwork being free is definitely ideal. And then they store all your artwork for you after it goes through that vectorizing process. So you don't have to re-upload every single time. It's just saved into your library.
Yeah, so do a little research, find the next 3 to 5 tournaments that you want to go to or events. Go screenshot some artwork of the company logo who sponsors them, send in an order for 5 sheets, gang them all together on your 11 1/4 by 14. You get free art, you pay for the 5 sheets, send out your sales samples, you'll book some events.
Also, Transfer Express does have a mock-up feature as well. So if you are building your transfers in there, before you check out, you can actually select the garment that you want from the Transfer Express apparel and drop the logo right on that and email it to whoever you want to sell on that. So you even get to put your watermark on it as well that represents your business. So I think that's another great selling point that they offer.
Great.
All right. That was a lot.
It was a
lot
lot.
of information.
I'm hungry.
All right. So good to know. All right. Yes, Tasha, they were goof-proof transfers. Goof-proof is one of the most popular transfers that Transfer Express offers. I feel like everybody is using
It's
goof-proof.
the most popular transfer at Transfer Express.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like we have all the questions answered. If you guys do have any other questions, feel free to chat those in. We will revisit this, revisit those after the broadcast. Other than that, we will see you next Thursday for Brandy Kramer's live class.
Awesome. See you then.
See ya.